Castling. Castling is a special rule that allows your king to hide in a more secure spot, and your rook to come out to play at the same time. It can be done either on the king side, which is called short castling, or on the queen side, which is called long castling. The king moves 2 squares towards the rook, and the rook moves on the square next to the king on the opposite side. Double hand promotion. You can only promote a piece if you use the same hand to push the pawn, remove the pawn, put a new queen in, and then click the clock all with the same hand. Checkmate. Checkmate occurs when a king is in check, has no legal moves to move to, and there is also no way to capture the piece checking the king or block the check. When this happens, the side that is checking wins. Conduct. Conduct refers to the way players behave, their etiquette, and dress code. This ensures that the match is fair, and that nobody is carrying a vibrator with them. Double hand castling. Castling can also only be done if the king and rook are moved using the same hand. Claiming draw. If there is no way for the opponent to checkmate you but you are significantly down on time, you can claim a draw to stop your opponent from just making random moves until you lose on time. Incorrect setup. Incorrect setup refers to a situation where one of the players in over-the-board chess has made a mistake in the setup of his pieces, which needs to be corrected before normal gameplay can resume. En passant. En passant is the only rule in chess which, if possible to play on the board, makes you want to play it more than a checkmate. It is a special position that occurs when a pawn moves 2 squares as the first move, and if it lands next to an opposition pawn, the opposing pawn can move diagonally and take the pawn. Insufficient material. This happens when neither you nor your opponent has any way to checkmate the other, and the game is pronounced a draw by insufficient material.
Come at me, man. I'll beat you up.
No! You come at me, you scaredy cat!
You're one to talk. All you do is run your mouth like a coward.
Oh, do I now? Well, you're doing the exact same thing, you idiot!
Dead position. It is a position where there are still lots of pieces on the board, but no progress can be made. In this position, all the pawns are fixed, and neither player can move a piece to the other side, leading to a draw. Recording moves. Recording moves involves keeping a written or digital record of the sequence of moves made during a game of chess. Threefold repetition. If the same position has occurred 3 times during the game, it is a draw.
You drew. What's up? You drew.
Resign. Resignation is something that you should never do. It refers to a player realizing that the opponent has an incredible advantage and that he is in a hopeless position, so he voluntarily ends the game, accepting defeat. 50-move rule. The 50-move rule in chess states that a player can claim a draw if no capture has been made and no pawn has been moved in the last 50 moves. According to the rules, claiming a draw is optional and the players can continue playing.
White King, we haven't done anything in 50 moves. Do you want to quit, or...
No, I don't ever surrender.
But I'm late for my date!
75-move rule. After 75 moves without a capture or pawn move, it is a forced draw for both sides. Dress code. There is a dress code in place that dictates that the clothes must not be too revealing or distracting, and they should follow the European business casual standard. This also affects the shoes one wears, and no hats are allowed either, other than for religious reasons. No talking. This rule is pretty self-explanatory. During an over-the-board chess game, no words can be said, other than draw check, accepting and declining a draw, or jadoob, which means that a player is announcing that they will touch a piece for a reason other than to move it. Stalemate. A stalemate is a situation where a player has no legal moves to play and is not in check. It could be the most frustrating thing you ever experienced as a chess player. 2 illegal moves. This rule applies only to over-the-board chess. If you make an illegal move and your opponent calls you out on it, the arbiter will come in and give you a warning, and possibly increase your opponent's time. If you make another illegal move, and your opponent calls you out again, you lose immediately. White moves first. This is a rule known by everybody in the chess world, and is the first thing you learn. Many people believe that this is for some reason related to racism, but it actually isn't even close. One of the theories is that when chess was created, black was considered lucky, and white had to be given some sort of other advantage. Castling restrictions. There are some moments where castling is impossible. If your king is in check, you cannot castle, and if there is a piece that controls the squares between your king and rook, you cannot castle in that situation either. Touch move. This rule dictates that if a player in over-the-board chess touches a piece, that piece will have to be the one to be moved if it has a legal move. This rule also applies to castling, as the king will have to be touched first, because if you were to touch a rook first, that would mean you would have to move it, which would mess up your chance to castle. Double hand clock. This rule indicates that you can only use one hand for playing a move and hitting the clock. Adjournment. Adjournment is a break during a chess game where play is suspended to be resumed at a later time, typically the next day, allowing players to analyze the position and prepare strategies. However, due to modern technology and time controls, adjournment is no longer a part of modern chess. Promotion. When your pawn reaches the farthest rank on the opposite side of the board, you can turn it into a queen, knight, bishop, or rook. In over-the-board chess, a new queen, if another queen is also still on the board, is represented by an upside-down rook. No takeback. This one is a no-brainer. If you made a move, even if you realized immediately how stupid it was, you can't take it back. Of course, this applies to high-level tournaments, and if you're only playing with a friend, the rules can be as lenient as you want. Double illegal move. In a game in 2017, an arbiter declared Magnus Carlsen had lost as he continued to play after his opponent's illegal move. Turns out, this is not in the FIDE lawbook, and the chief arbiter overruled this decision shortly after, and Magnus ended up winning that game. Piece movement. A pawn goes one square forward, captures diagonally, and can move 2 squares on the first move. A knight keeps taking L's, and hops around in L shapes around the board. The bishop moves diagonally. Rooks move horizontally and vertically, and the queen combines the way rooks and bishops move. The king moves 1 square at a time, and can move to any of the 8 squares it is touching.